Welcome back to Understanding Asia. 25 years ago, this country was known for making cheap toys. Today, it builds the electric cars, the solar panels, and the batteries the rest of the world is racing to catch up with. This is the story of how China climbed the value chain in a single generation. We'll move through 5 acts. First, the world's factory. Second, the pivot, when China decided to stop just assembling. Third, its rise as the world's electric vehicle powerhouse. Fourth, the broad push into technology, batteries, solar, drones, and artificial intelligence. And fifth, the cracks, and the one frontier it hasn't conquered yet. Let's start at the beginning, when China was simply the world's factory. For a long time, the story was simple. Foreign firms designed the products. Chinese factories assembled them. The label said, "Made in China," but the brains, the patents, the profits lived somewhere else. Cheap labor in, cheap goods out. Look at how fast the factory floor changed hands. In the year 2000, the United States made about a quarter of the world's goods. China was in the single digits. Then China joined the World Trade Organization in 2001, and the lines crossed. Today, China makes around 30% of the world's goods. The United States, closer to 15%. But for all that scale, the model was simple and limited. Cheap labor went in. Cheap goods came out. The real value, the design, the technology was captured elsewhere. China wanted more than the factory floor. Which brings us to the pivot, the moment China decided to stop assembling and start inventing. In 2015, Beijing launched a plan called Made in China 2025. Its own diagnosis of its manufacturing base was blunt. Large, but not strong. The goal was to climb from the bottom of the value chain to the top, to invent, not just assemble. And here's the clever part. China didn't try to beat the West at the old game of engines and gearboxes, where it was decades behind. It jumped straight to the new game, batteries, motors, and software, and rewrote the rules from scratch. Nowhere is that leap clearer than in cars. For most of modern history, China barely exported cars. In 2019, it shipped about 700,000. By 2025, that exploded to roughly 7 million. That's a tenfold jump in just 6 years. Enough to overtake Japan and Germany and make China the world's largest car exporter. One quick note before the next numbers. China's statistics use the term New Energy Vehicle, or NEV. It's broader than a pure electric car. It combines battery electric cars, BEVs, with plug-in hybrids, PHEVs. Keep that in mind. On that NEV basis, China produced about 12.9 million vehicles in 2024 alone, well over half of all the electric vehicles made worldwide. And one company captures the whole shift. BYD started in 1995, making rechargeable batteries. In 2024, it overtook Tesla as the world's biggest seller of electric cars, about 4.3 million, versus Tesla's 1.8. A battery maker became a car empire in a single generation. But cars are just one front. The real story is how broadly China has moved from made in to invented in. Look at the sweep: batteries, solar, drones, clean energy patents, rare earths, and now artificial intelligence. From the ground to the sky, China holds a dominant share across the board. Let's take a few of these in turn. Start with batteries. Just 2 Chinese firms, CATL and BYD, hold about 56% of the global electric vehicle battery market. 6 of the world's top 10 battery makers are Chinese. Whoever controls the battery controls the electric age. Solar tells the same story, but it's no longer just cheap production. China's share of global solar patents went from 13% in 2004 to 65% in 2024, a five-fold jump. The factory became the laboratory. Drones follow the pattern. In 2006, a student founded a company called DJI to build a flying toy that won't crash. In 2013, its Phantom made drones plug and fly for everyone. Today, DJI holds about 70% of the world market. China overall, around 85%. Step back, and the pattern is unmistakable. China's share of global clean energy patents rose from about 5% in the year 2000 to roughly 75% by 2022. If Made in China defined the last decade, Invented in China increasingly defines this one. And the latest front is artificial intelligence. In January 2025, a small Hangzhou startup called DeepSeek released a model rivaling the best American ones for under $6 million, built in 2 months on lower-spec chips. The day after, the chipmaker NVIDIA lost about $600 billion in value. China skipped the top-tier chips and routed around the limits with efficiency. But the rise isn't without cracks. Let's be honest about the limits. China built faster than the world could buy. The result is overcapacity and brutal price wars, and a backlash. The United States and Europe have raised tariffs, and some products face security restrictions abroad. And there's one frontier it hasn't conquered. The most advanced chips, the ones made in Taiwan, remain out of reach. DeepSeek routed around that limit. But building the chip itself is another order of difficulty entirely. So that's the arc. From plastic toys to electric cars, from the world's factory to one of its laboratories, today's industries conquered. Tomorrow's race still on. Next time on Understanding Asia, can India do what China did? Subscribe, and we'll see you there.